Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so happy you're joining me again today for another video. This is actually part of a reverse confetti hop, so make sure to check out the links in the description below to go to my blog post and to hop along from there to see all the inspiration. And we are celebrating spring with a discount as well at Reverse Confetti, so check out my description again for the discount information as well. Meanwhile, I've already started making my card. I have put a piece of cardstock in my Misti and it is slightly larger than A2 size because I will die cut from this later. And on this, I am stamping this corner flower bunch from the Friendly Floral stamp set by Reverse Confetti. It's from their latest release and I just love it so much, but I haven't had much opportunity to use it yet. I used it in a background last week and it was so much fun. But today I really wanted to make it the focus of my card. And I'm going to do that with some emboss resist technique. So I'm stamping this in two corners of my panel with Versamark ink, and I'm stamping it twice both times because this is textured cardstock. It is cardstock for colored pencils, so it is not perfectly white, which is exactly why I chose it, but that also means it's not perfectly smooth. So you do want to stamp it twice to get a nice impression. I also stamped one of the smaller flowers or floral bunches on a separate piece of cardstock as well with the same ink, and I'm embossing them both with Wow Clear Gloss Super Fine Embossing Powder. Now, usually when I do emboss resist, I choose the white powder, and I wanted to choose the white powder this time as well, but I just grabbed the wrong jar by accident. They're right next to each other on my cart, and yeah, I just grabbed the wrong one. But I am very happy that I did actually, because the white would have been a lot harsher and this is a lot more subtle and I really like the look. I haven't done emboss resist before with clear embossing powder because I like the look so much with white, but for this card I am glad I made the mistake. Now, emboss resist is always a little bit of magic because the image really only shows up once you ink blend over it. So I am using some Reverse Confetti inks, some Pigment Craft Co inks. I'm using a bunch of different inks, also some Pink Fresh Studios in there. But I'm using some peachy colors, some pinks, and some fresh greens, and that's it. So I think in total I used 5 inks. I did switch out my darker green for an even darker green in the end because I didn't think it popped enough, so I guess I used 6 inks in the end. But I kept it quite simple. I used 3 pinks on top of each other, but yeah, I didn't want a bunch of different colors. I just wanted a couple of different pinks in there and some green with a little bit of depth. And you can see I just used regular size ink blending brushes for these, even though the flowers are quite tiny, because I don't like my ink blending on these projects to be too precise. I really like the look of the ink blending together, which I guess is the point of ink blending, but not so much when you do emboss resist usually. Now these 2 separate smaller floral bunches I'm going to die cut out, and then it's time to stamp my sentiment strip. There will be a larger sentiment on this card, a die cut sentiment, so this is a sub sentiment that I'm going to use, and this is from the Party Pals stamp set by Reverse Confetti, and it says "Today blooms for you." I just stamped it twice onto craft cardstock with Versamark ink and embossed it with Wow Bright White Super Fine Embossing Powder. I stamped it twice just to make sure I had one that was really well embossed. Now I also die cut this frame from the Layered Mom Plus Frame die set by Reverse Confetti again, and I die cut that from the panel that we just ink blended, and I also die cut that large U from there. This is from the Layered U die set by Reverse Confetti, and it's all nice and die cut from that one panel, but I did stack up the frames, so I die cut 3 additional frames out of thick white cardstock, so it has some nice dimension, and I did the same for the U sentiment, so I die cut that 3 more times as well from thick white cardstock. So the frame is dimensional and the U is dimensional and everything else is recessed, and it's a gorgeous look. I really love eclipse die cutting like this, especially when you have a fun and interesting background like I do here with the emboss resist technique. So now I just have to stack up that U and glue it in place, and that completes my background and almost my card. I'm using some foam tape. It's folded in half, so it's folded double. It is 2 layers of foam tape is what I'm trying to say here. And I'm just putting that in the corners to prop up my smaller flowers. I am curling up the flowers a little bit to zhuzh them up, like Laura Fedora says. And that's pretty much it. All that's left to do is prop up that sentiment strip as well. Now I fussy cut out that sentiment, which is not something I often do except when it has such a lovely script font. So I don't have a bunch of stamps with that font, pretty much only Reverse Confetti, and I really like the Reverse Confetti font. Now I cut 5, I think it's 5, 5 really thin strips of thick white cardstock, layered those together, and that is going to give a really sturdy dimension to that sentiment strip. So it's propped up and it looks like it's sturdy, and I really like that look. Now I am going to use some bling on this card. This is, I don't actually know what the color is, but it's Meraki Sparkle, some color opal. The opal gems from Meraki or crafty Meraki are the pearls, and just the Meraki Sparkle without the opal in the name are the gems. I'm sorry I don't know the color, but I will list it in the description below so you can look it up if you're interested. Now for a matching envelope, I am again using that corner flower bunch because since I got the stamp set, I really thought of just using it on a bunch of envelopes. On the front flap of it or the back flap, I still don't know what the front of the envelope is. Isn't that, I think that's sacrilege as a card maker. But yeah, I just stamped that floral bunch on the flap of the envelope in Versamark ink, embossed it with Wow Bright White Superfine Embossing Powder, and then I can glue my envelope together. If you're curious, throughout this video, throughout this card, I used Barely Art Precision Craft Glue to glue pretty much everything together, except for when I adhered the pearls on there, because pearls are a slick surface and I really prefer attaching those or adhering those with Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, which is quite a bit stronger. And that's it for this card. I really love how this card turned out. I am really happy with it. I'm really happy that spring is here, even though the weather has been awful here. But yeah, I really like some spring cards. I've been making them for a while now, but it's still fun. And please don't forget to use the discount code SPRING on the Reverse Confetti shop so you can save 20% off your purchase, which is always fun. Who doesn't love a good sale, especially if it's a crafty sale? So check that out. I will leave all the info and the links and stuff like that in the description below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.